This is Renelle, and welcome to Quality Hang with Rod Brooks and friends. And here he is now, your host, my main man, Rod Brooks.
Thank you very much, Renelle. I am Rod Brooks, and welcome everyone to Quality Hang. And as always, I am joined on this broadcasting adventure by my partner in crime, my friend, your friend, the co-host of Quality Hang. He is Marcus Osborne. What up, brother? How you doing, man?
What is up, Daddy-O? Enjoying this mild summer weather.
For people who are watching from around the country, they don't understand that we are experiencing a very cold summer. San Francisco has not gotten above 70 degrees. It has been foggy. It has been cool. It has been absolutely awesome. And for those of you who are sweltering in the Midwest after getting dumped on with rain, and the folks on the East Coast getting flooded out, and it's always hot in the South, I just say to you guys, sorry for you.
It feels like 6 months of fall right now.
And see, here's what we're going to do. We're going to parlay this nice, cool summer weather into the best time of year in the Bay Area. And that, of course, is late summer, early fall, where the weather is unbeatable. Now, what do we have to deal with that unbeatable fall weather? The risk of everything burning down within mere minutes. But hey, you know what? Life's a gamble, damn it. And that's just the cost of doing business.
Rake the forest later on.
Well, boy, here you go. You know what? We got a big show, got a different show. Got a show that has got a little bit of a heavy heart today. But we always get it started by thanking our presenting sponsor, Hop Monk Taverns. 3 locations to choose from in Sebastopol, Sonoma, and in Novato. And at all 3 of those locations, Dean Biersch and the crew do the same great things. Excellent food from a great diverse menu. The craft beer selection really speaks to me, as it is wide, it is diverse, it is fantastic. But for me, the best part about Hop Monk is that they are committed to live music. At all 3 venues, you can get touring acts from around the country. Hop Monk is a place to go. Is a place for a lot of musicians as they're making their way across this great country to play music. Hop Monk is a spot, whether it is Sebastopol, Sonoma, or Novato. But I love Hop Monk and what they do live music-wise because of the commitment to the local music scene. It's not just about the big acts. It's about local acts being able to play at all 3 of the Hop Monk venues where they could establish a following, or at least have people that they know see them. So to see what they have coming up live music-wise, or whatever they have on the entertainment schedule at Hop Monk, check them out online at hopmonk.com. Follow them on all of the normal social media outlets, and more than anything, stop by if you haven't in a while. And if you've never graced a Hop Monk with your presence, fix that immediately, will ya? You will not be disappointed. Disappointed, Marcus, isn't the word I'll use. I think it fits, but there are many words that come to mind. The first one that comes to shocked and saddened when we got the news about Malcolm Jamal Warner. He passed away yesterday in Costa Rica, went out for an early morning swim in the ocean, and unfortunately did not come back. The preliminary reports are that he was out in the ocean swimming, and he could swim. And a rip current took him out, and it ended his life tragically. Malcolm Jamal Warner had a family. He was very private about his family, but he did have a family and did have young kids. To the best of my knowledge, he was most known for playing Theo, the boy, the son on The Cosby Show. But he was more than that. He went on to do more television acting. He did Malcolm and Eddie. He would pop up as a guest actor on a variety of shows. But he also went on to direct and went on to become a musician, learned how to play jazz bass, and accomplished would tour the country playing jazz bass. And if you are of a certain age, and we are of that certain age, Theo Huxtable, Malcolm Jamal Warner, was
Mhm.
really, really, really important to us. No disrespect to Emmanuel Lewis and Gary Coleman, but to me, Malcolm Jamal Warner was the first young black male of our generation
Mhm.
that was normal. You know, he
Yep.
he he looked
Yep.
like us. He talked like us. He
Yep.
he was one of us. And if you were a young black boy in the mid to late 80s, you wanted to be Theo Huxtable.
Mhm.
Um, you wanted to be Malcolm Jamal Warner. And to see him, as we know, being a child actor in Hollywood,
Yep.
your adult life is rough.
It's usually a trash heap.
A lot of folks don't
Yeah.
make it. Um, and to see Malcolm Jamal Warner transition from kid actor to fully functioning adult within the entertainment scene, um, it's like, wow, that's really cool. Like he made it. You know what I mean? He got out of the abnormal world of being a child actor in Hollywood
Yep.
and he became a fully functioning, normal adult. And
Yeah.
I always celebrated that as a massive, massive victory because, again, as we talked about, that doesn't happen all that often.
Yeah, because it was a massive victory, and the great thing about him was that also, unlike other child stars, he never stopped working.
Nope.
He worked up and literally up until the last days of his life.
Yeah.
He's constantly working, and you would see him either as a guest star on something, or always had a new TV series coming out. He had a very cool little podcast,
Hmm.
and a dude who really seemed to have his head on straight. And you know what? For better or worse, he attributed a lot of that to Bill Cosby. And it's weird to say, but I
No,
mean,
you're right. You're right.
he talked about it. He's like, listen, I know what he's done. I still call him Dr. Cosby. And he really helped me get through my teenage years. So it's such a sad thing to watch, especially when it's a guy who was pretty much in the prime of his life, living his best life.
Yeah.
I saw some video of him and his family boarding a plane because when you're famous, everybody's always got a camera out on you. And so he he was getting on the plane with his family, and there folks were. You had this very like intimate family footage of he and his family boarding a plane, commercial plane, just living his life and just
Yeah.
being a regular old dude, man. And I'm curious as to, yeah, I'm looking through his filmography. Yeah, there's no gap in his working, no gap. He always had a job.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, and obviously being known for one character that has ruined a lot of
Yes.
actors' lives.
Yeah.
Okay. Especially being known as one character
Mhm.
from your days as a child.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so many stories in Hollywood where being typecast as, that famous character from your youth has sent many of willing and diligent actors into a spiral.
Yeah.
It takes a special type of human being with a certain type of intestinal fortitude
Mhm.
to not allow that to send him to that seemingly normal place of I can't get a job because everybody thinks
Yeah.
I'm the cute kid that I played
Yeah.
for however many and I, for folks who weren't around because the landscape has changed so much in terms of how we consume media, you don't understand if you weren't there. And I'm not saying this to chastise anyone, but you
Sure.
don't understand how big the Cosby Show was.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yes.
you don't understand because it was so big in terms of everybody watched it.
Yep.
Thursday night, 7 o'clock
Yep.
Central Time when I grew up, 8 o'clock on the coast, the Cosby Show 30, 40, 45, 50 million people a week
Yeah.
watch the Cosby Show.
And Rod,
you can't get 50 million people to watch anything these days, with the exception of an NFL playoff game of note and the Super Bowl.
yeah, you are talking about a show that in its heyday, you think about the biggest show on television now, or you even think about, most people think about the biggest show being like Friends or what else was pretty huge? Seinfeld.
Right.
Cosby Show was bigger than those.
It was, and
I don't
so
think you really get it.
no, everyone watched the
Mhm.
Cosby Show. The
Mhm.
country, everybody sat down and watched the Cosby Show, and then they talked about it the next day into the weekend until the next episode of the Cosby Show came out. So I say that to say we're not just talking about some rinky-dink television show and some
Yes.
character. Everyone, black, white, Hispanic, Asian, could speak English, could not speak English.
Yes.
Everyone knew the Cosby Show. Everyone knew Theo, and he was able to get away from that.
Yes.
But to really drill down on it, if you weren't there, or, and this is not to be exclusionary, if you weren't black, you don't know how big the Cosby Show was. Okay. It was a game changer in terms of how black people,
Mhm.
and there used to be fights about this, because
Yep.
you'd have black people say, hey, black people don't live like that. And
Well,
that's maybe
so.
a different story for a different
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
But it was the way black people were represented on television changed with the Cosby Show.
Yes.
And we and I think I can speak with a certain amount of authority on this.
Mhm.
We as black people watched that show, and it was a big source of pride for us. This is way before we knew that Bill Cosby was a horrible human being. But what
Yes.
that show brought, first and foremost, it was entertaining. It was funny. I think we have to get that across, because
Yes, that's the whole key.
the message, if you will, of look at these black people that are not at each other's throats or struggling or whatever.
Yes.
You that message would not have been able to get across to black people and white people if the show wasn't funny and entertaining.
Yes.
And it was very
100%.
funny, and it was very entertaining. So they nailed that. And then the burden of being the representation of black people on television,
Yes.
they carried that burden and carried it almost as if it wasn't a burden, because we were all watching that show like, you're doing this for us.
Yeah.
Like this is you. Everything that you're putting out there in front of 30, 35, 40, 45 million people a week, you're doing this for us. And he had a part in that. And I just don't think you can ever overestimate how big that was and how heavy a burden that must have been. But Malcolm Jamal Warner, specifically talking about him on the day that we found out that he passed away, to be able to carry that as a teenager, and then into his young adulthood, and then to his actual adulthood, it's remarkable as far as I'm concerned.
He kept his head on straight. He wasn't out there getting doped up. He was a really smart, well-read guy. I mean, just about as normal and down to earth as you could possibly get, particularly when you're a teenager with the world at your fingertips, being able to do whatever. Nobody's going to tell you no for nothing.
Couldn't have been me.
Facts on facts.
I know full well I would have been out there wilding.
Oh, man, just knocking them down. And here he was, man, getting his education, learning to play an instrument, becoming an accomplished poet. All these skills that this dude developed, never got into any trouble.
Yeah,
as one of the stars, as you said, on the biggest show on TV. People didn't understand how big Thursday night television became because the Cosby Show.
This is not hyperbole by any stretch of the imagination. The Cosby Show saved NBC.
It did.
Nobody watched the NBC until the Cosby. NBC in the late 70s and early 80s was an absolute joke.
It was an adult.
You watch Different Strokes, and that was about it.
Yeah.
Okay,
You got your different strokes, you got your silver spoons, and then you win.
that was it. That was it. Facts of life, and then that was it. Okay, but we're talking kiddie shows. Okay, there's no substance to any of that. Cosby Show comes along, then Cheers piggybacks off of the Cosby Show, and Cheers is easily one of the greatest sitcoms of all time. But if it weren't for the Cosby Show, Cheers would not have gotten past its first or second season.
You don't have because Cheers was on its deathbed.
It was on its deathbed, absolutely. Yeah.
Before it got to
you don't have must-see TV on Thursday nights if it's not for the Cosby Show. You don't have Seinfeld. You don't have Friends if it wasn't for the Cosby Show. That's how big it was.
Yeah. And every new show, Different World, which was a huge show. You know what I mean? Every new show that debuted on NBC for the years that the Cosby Show was on television, it debuted after the Cosby Show because they wanted everybody to see it.
Oh, you know what, Naomi? You know what? You're right. Give me a break. Oh, can I tell a quick story?
Give me a break. Nell Carter was not a nice woman. Go ahead.
What? You are not going to say that about Nell Carter, who told me I was cute. Okay.
Oh, I can't take it away from her. I can't take that away from you. But yeah, Nell.
Well, you know what? Maybe she just didn't find you as cute as she found me.
Yeah, I think it had more to do with she had a little issue with the nostril sugar, and that kind of maybe put her mood in different directions.
That'll do it. That'll do it. And okay, maybe she was full of the Colombian Bam Bam when she told me I was cute. But damn it, I take my victories and I cherish them.
Hell yeah.
So play this video here, and everybody's going to know it immediately. When you think sort of the quintessential Theo, Malcolm Jamal Warner, Cosby Show episode, you can think of the one where he's pining for his girlfriend, Justine.
Oh, man.
The one where he got the earring and tried to hide it. But
the earring was hilarious.
I don't know if there's anything better. I just don't know than this.
What is this? Is this my shirt? Is this the shirt I paid $30 for? Is this the shirt they're supposed to think is a Gordon Gartrell? You don't like it? Ask me the question again. You don't like it? I hate it. Look at it. Oh. It's the ugliest shirt I've ever seen.
It's not that bad, is it? It's better than I could do.
Look at these sleeves.
My arms are the same length, worn out my sleeves. This collar's all crazy and its inside is too big. Maybe if you tucked it in a little more. It's tucked into my socks.
You are gonna pay for this.
Mom, it's the last time I'm ever making anything for you.
Malcolm Jamal Warner was 54.
By the way, his performance right there was spot on, boy.
Oh yeah. Spot on.
So good.
So it's really sad to hear that news today. I never met him. Many of us didn't know him, but I think we all had the same feelings. Like it was like seeing someone you knew.
Yeah,
getting bad news about someone you knew, and all of the tributes are coming in from people who knew Malcolm Jamal Warner, people who worked with him, people who didn't work with him. But everyone basically says the exact same thing. It's sad, it's tragic, and clearly condolences to his family, obviously his immediate family, wife and kids, and those that knew him and loved him. Again, Malcolm Jamal Warner was 54 years old. So we will the awkward transition from real life to the world of sports, and I completely forgot that we're going to do something a little bit different tonight. We're going to do a normal quality hang, but I had a chance to talk to Matt Maiocco my coworker at NBC Sports Bay Area, the Don Mayoko,
The Don.
covers the Niners and has for years for NBC Sports Bay Area. Had a chance to record an interview with Matt Mayoko a few days ago. And when we're done doing our normal quality hang, I'm going to play that interview for you near the end of the show and talk to Matt about what happened last year, because I don't think you can have a conversation about the Niners present and the not too distant future and not talk about last year. So we talked a little bit about last year, talked about the present, and then talked about the future. So definitely stick around and stay tuned for that. My conversation with Matt Mayoko of NBC Sports Bay Area as Niners training camp opens tomorrow. And as we give you this live version of Quality Hang, Juwan Jennings still has yet to sign a contract, but he is expected to show up for camp tomorrow. Now, whether he will participate in any drills, will it be a hold-in similar to what we got for Brandon Ayuk last year? That remains to be seen. So we're talking Niners with Matt Mayoko when we are done with this normal edition of Quality Hang. So I wanted to mention that at the beginning of the show. Alas, I forgot. May I be forgiven. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I'm on. Yeah.
Thank you very much. So we're going to make the transition here. WNBA All-Star Game.
Yes.
This past weekend.
Yes.
Did I watch it? No, I did not. But that didn't stop me from getting the news that was the big news about the WNBA All-Star Game, because I guarantee you most people can't tell you who won the WNBA All-Star Game, but everybody knows about these shirts.
Yes.
Before warm-ups, for I guess their version of All-Star Saturday Night, various WNBA players, you see Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark on the left, wearing shirts that say "Pay us what you owe us," as the WNBA players and the WNBA teams are going into what is expected to be, Marcus, bitter and possibly protracted labor negotiations once this season is over. And it's pretty clear what the WNBA players want. They want more money, considering the WNBA's popularity is as big as it has ever been in the history of the league. And the WNBA is fresh with a big infusion of cash from a brand new media rights deal.
Yes.
And of course, Marcus, because no one seemingly can have just a normal, nuanced opinion about the WNBA, these shirts made people lose their ever-loving minds.
People are so weird, dude. I can't. I'm telling you, the WNBA and the NBA, the fandom are becoming closer and closer with every passing day, because this is the type of goofy shit that NBA fans would lose their minds over.
And this now adds in what is, I don't know if it's a problem. I don't know if that's the word I should use. But what has always been something I think is just really weird when it comes to sports and labor negotiations, that we as fans love our teams, and we love the people who comprise, who make up the teams. We love the athletes. But when it comes to labor negotiations, when it comes to labor, players, and management, the teams, it's amazing how we seemingly always side with the teams.
It's insane.
I do not understand it. And it's been this way ever since I've been paying attention to it, whether it's baseball, whether it's football, whether it's the NBA, hockey, and now the WNBA. For some strange reason, we do not ever want athletes to forget about get more money. We don't even want them to ask for more money. And then when you add in the WNBA, people are getting really weird about this, and it's probably going to get weirder as this continues to go on.
Well, you know, my favorite thing is everybody's a fucking business person when you start talking about sports, right? well,
everybody's Warren Buffett when you start thinking about sports.
You know, these ladies, they shouldn't be getting these big raises because this league isn't profitable. Okay, well then why is it that when the NBA players want their money, you still have a problem with it, and the league is super profitable, and yet you still don't want anybody to make any money. You can't. It's a logic that just
doesn't make any sense. It's pretzel logic.
not
And
a single sense.
it's not their job to make the league profitable. It's the team's job. It's the league's job to
Right.
make it profitable. And how is it starting to make it profitable? By inking that brand new media deal that is
Yes,
worth
sir.
hundreds of millions of dollars.
Yes,
Their job is
$1 billion.
yeah. Their job is to play. But with you getting an infusion of revenue, you gonna have to come off of that revenue. Because why is there an infusion of revenue? Because of half of the ladies we see on the screen right now. And this whole idea of, well, the league's not profitable, they shouldn't get paid. Listen, you got to be an exceptional dork to not want them to get paid.
Ridiculous.
Stop pocket watching. Okay. Stop.
By the way,
stop pocket watching and stop being a misogynistic dweeb
yes.
saying and rooting against these women for getting more money.
Let's not forget the NBA was about to go out of business. It took them 40 years before they started making money. This league is what, 25, 30 years old? I think they're okay. And they're about to turn their profit.
Well,
go ahead, Rod.
No, please go ahead.
Well, and that's my whole point. I just think it's silly that we as you said, we pocket watching these people trying to make their money, and people get so upset when they say we want to make what the men make. They're not saying they want to make the same amount of money, but they want the same type of revenue share that the men get. You know what they get right now? 10%.
Man, listen.
10% of revenue goes to players in the WNBA.
That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous.
The NBA, the guy, I think the men get 51%.
Listen, and there's not saying that they should get what the men make, but 10%. Come on, dog.
That's ridiculous.
Dog. We talked about this on Friday, and again, for full disclosure, I don't watch the WNBA. It ain't my type of hype. Okay. I'm not a champion for the league. I just find it amazing that the discourse surrounding the league is just so goddamn weird. And it's just like it's like no one can have a conversation about basketball or about labor and management or about revenue, what revenue splits should be, what makes sense, what is fair, what is equitable. It seems like we cannot have a conversation about this that has any amount of common sense or substance because no one seems to have any real idea how to talk about the WNBA when it's real easy. Yes. They're athletes. Okay. Now they happen to have two X chromosomes, but they're athletes. Why does it have to always be so damn weird?
It is weird, Rod. I mean, think about this. The NBA in 1982, they were having like 5 nationally televised games. And guess what? A dude like Moses Malone was making $1 million, headed to $2 million a year.
Yeah.
And the league was not profitable at all. So you're talking about some, you know what? If I'm living in the Bay Area, $70,000, sorry, that's not going to help me pay my bills if I have to live in San Francisco.
Bruh, we had a good laugh about this on Friday.
Yeah.
When old girl Sabrina Ionescu won the 3-point shooting contest. And she got $60,275 for winning the 3-point contest.
Yes, sir.
She got $60,000 from, I forget who was the title sponsor for the 3-point contest, and then $2,575 from the WNBA.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Less than $3,000. Again, it's an exhibition. It's a 3-point shooting contest. I understand clearly that it's not that important, but to get less than $3,000 from the league for winning that contest, come on, bro.
I mean, I see your guy, John Joseph here, who was basically making this quote unquote business argument that I was just talking about. John Joseph, that's not right.
Yeah, it's not about how much revenue
that's
you create. It's not right.
You're not paying attention to professional sports if you think that that's the reason that these players aren't getting more money.
No.
It's never worked that way. I just told you that the NBA went 40 years without turning a profit. They had 5 nationally televised games, and Moses Malone was getting $1 million a year.
It boils down to this: stop pocket watching.
Yeah, man.
Stop.
Yeah.
Stop.
Yeah.
Money ain't coming out of your pocket. Why are you
Listen,
worried about it?
Rod, there's a reason that these billionaires are trying to. Let me tell you something. If this league wasn't doing well, do you think they'd be trying to expand 5 teams in the next few years?
What was the I
Really?
forget for the Valkyries? What was the franchise?
Yeah, was it 250 million bucks?
Something along those lines. Yeah,
Yeah.
come on, man.
Guess what? They're now worth 500 million in the first
Come
year.
on. You wouldn't have people rushing to have WNBA expansion teams. I think you're going to have one in Detroit and another place. You wouldn't have them if this wasn't a viable, profitable business. No one would be rushing. Joe Lacob would not have spent all that money to get into the WNBA if it was a money-losing venture.
Preach it, brother.
And I think we all consider Joe Lacob to be the smartest, most with it, best owner in the Bay Area. Okay? You can have your issues with Joe Lacob, but I think everybody agrees, dude ain't no dummy.
Yeah.
Dude spends money, and when he spends money, he normally knows what he's doing in terms of what he's spending it on. You think he would go into something and pour the money that he has into the Valkyries if it was something that wasn't profitable?
He's already doubled his investment.
Come on, man. Yeah, it's
in
just
one season, he's doubled his investment.
stop pocket watching. If you are longtime viewers of Quality Hang, that I can't stand sucker umpires. All right.
Oh boy, this is Rod's pet peeve.
It is, because it's something that can be easily fixed.
Yeah.
And we are heading down that road of fixing it. We saw it in the All-Star game with the automated ball and strike challenge system. It went off without a hitch. I'm fairly certain we're going to get it next season, and it cannot come soon enough because you continue to get umpire shows. We go to yesterday in Toronto. Blue Jays, Giants. Oh, by the way, Giants lost their 4th game in a row. Just an embarrassing showing tonight in Atlanta.
Weird season for them, man.
Hayden Birdsong couldn't get out of the first inning. He can't find the strike zone. If you gave him GPS, the Giants defense was as laughable as it's been all year long. And over the last 2 months, the Giants defense has really taken a nosedive. The at-bats seemed non-competitive for the most part, with the exception of Willy Adames, who was, I think he was a triple short of the cycle tonight, but the Giants are in a very, very, very bad way. And again, what I'm about to point out with this umpire yesterday, Chad Whitson, listen, as bad as the Giants are going, I'm not saying that he's the reason the Giants lost the game. However, it's hard enough to hit a baseball as it is. Then when you had an umpire doing this dumb shit, it makes it impossible.
Very friendly call. Wisely didn't like that
ball.
one. That is, wow. I mean, that was ball 4.
Now, I'm going to stop here, okay? Clearly, that was ball 4. Brett Wisely, okay, it's hard for him to hit water if he falls out of a boat, all right? But this Chad Whitson fella was having a particularly bad, I believe this was in the 4th inning. Well, only in Major League Baseball, and really this is the only sport where you can be bad at your job, have rabbit ears, and then be defensive about people telling you you are bad at your job. Justin Verlander, who admittedly is not doing well right now, had a bad start a couple of days ago. Justin Verlander had something to say to Chad Whitson.
He mad.
Hear and see what Chad Whitson said to Justin Verlander as he's throwing him out of the game.
Clearly, Chad Whitson just tossed Bob Melvin out.
Okay. I'm going to go ahead and rewind that. Okay. You're bad at your job. You missed 2 calls. Okay. Those weren't pitches on the black. He missed those by the width of baseballs. He gets called out on it. And what does he do? This. I'll fast forward here a little bit. This.
Chad Whitson just tossed Bob Melvin out.
Combative.
Wow.
And then he stares him down.
Wow.
It's the only sport where you can be that bad at your job, keep your job, and then be an asshole about it when people tell you you are objectively terrible at your job. And to present more evidence to bolster the point, this is Chad Whitson yesterday.
Yikes.
I want you to look at the bottom right corner, called strike accuracy. Average 88%. He was a full 10 percentage points below the average.
Yikes.
Com-
That's rough, bro.
wrong and combative. And oh, by the way,
He wanted to go home. That's what it was.
Giants lost 8-6 plus 169 runs for Toronto. That's basically 2 runs. Now, again, the Giants didn't lose that game and they didn't get swept in Toronto because of the umpires.
Right.
I'm just pointing out that all this nonsense about, well, it's just part of the game or the human element. No. When you're going to be bad at your job and you're going to be combative, ain't no need for that. Ain't no need for it.
Dude just wanted to get out. It's obvious that he wanted to go home. Like, it's obvious he's trying to get out of there fast. Because all these are I don't even know how you make this mistake.
He was a full 10 percentage points below the called strike accuracy average.
This is when you bring in Stevie Wonder and you just say, let me give you a shot. Let me give you a shot, Stevie.
Man, it just, and then he stares him down. Bob Melvin comes out.
I don't blame Bob for getting kicked out.
And then he stares him down.
I don't blame Bob for getting kicked out.
Just sucker shit. Just absolute sucker shit. So I cannot wait for next year.
Christian said he had 500 on the game. He may have.
He was calling strikes like he committed a crime and needs to get out of the country. Yeah, he committed a crime in Canada. He murdered the strike zone in front of everybody. Women, children, old people. Chad Whitson killed the strike zone yesterday in Toronto and got away with it. Yeah, man. Nah, you can miss me with the human element part of it. There's technology to help these guys get the most important call in baseball right, whether it was a ball or a strike. And to not use that technology and to have those combative jerks running games, no, man, I don't need it.
It's all right to say my bad. It's all right to say I was wrong.
But they never do. Or just don't say anything.
Yeah, or that.
Just, hey, let Verlander chirp. You know you missed those calls. Mm-hmm. Let him chirp. But not only do you throw him out, and admittedly, it was a pretty good zinger, but that's ridiculously unprofessional to say, why don't you worry about getting out of the third inning? Like, that's the kind, you say that to the wrong person, you might get swung on. You know what? Because I didn't get out of the third inning, I got a lot of strength right now, and I'm going to put it all on you.
Lord have mercy.
Yeah. So Chad Whitson, another umpire that I don't think that these guys are I just think they're incompetent. I think they're incompetent and they're thin-skinned. And to me, there's just there's no place in the game for that. Well, apparently, I guess there is a place in the game for it. It's been that way since the beginning of time, apparently.
Facts. I mean, once you start holding dudes accountable, maybe they'll start to figure that shit out.
Nah.
We got some robots. We got some robots that'll replace. We got this AI thing over here. We'll fix you.
Well, I love that Rob Manfred tried to frame it as the umpires who were initially against the ball and strike challenge system. He said the commissioner of Major League Baseball, they finally decided to go with it because the umpires got tired of getting talked badly about on ESPN and talk radio. And I say in response to that, I'm tired of watching you guys do dumb shit like that.
Yeah.
So we can all agree that using technology to call balls and strikes is going to make you guys, is going to make your job a little bit easier. So we don't have to sit here and go, what the hell was that pitch?
Hey, man, they're lucky they get to keep them jobs.
Well, you know what? Unions.
Unions. Yeah.
A strong union will do a lot for its rank and file members. Always remember that. Unions are good, kids, no matter what they tell you. Matt Maiocco, my conversation with Matt Maiocco of NBC Sports Bay Area, my coworker doing football season, and football season, it is here. As training camp has started for the Cowboys. Oh, we'll be getting to the Cowboys in just a second. Going to start for the Niners tomorrow, but football season is here. Had a chance to chat with Matt Maiocco. We're going to play that chat for you when we get to the end of this Monday edition episode. I think we're at episode 37 now, Marcus, of Quality Hang. So before we get to on this date and the best thing that I saw today, I know that there was something that you wanted to bring up.
Dude, I don't know if you heard about this.
Lay it on me.
I feel like it was worth mentioning. This is an
Mhm.
incident that occurred just after 4:30 p.m. local time Wednesday in New York. 61-year-old man, later identified as Keith McAllister,
Oh boy.
entered an MRI room during a scan in New York.
Son, I saw that.
You know what I'm talking
I
about.
saw that.
He had on a 20-pound chain around his neck.
Now let's pause this for a second. Let's pause
Yeah.
it for a second. Let's pause this for a second. We don't victim blame.
No, not at all. No. A little bit? Okay, no, not at all. Not at all.
Because I'm about to engage in a little bit of victim. Hey man, what you doing with a 20-pound chain around your neck? What? Huh? What?
So I think they're saying that this is part of a workout that he does. He's 61 years old. He's trying to stay strong. Whatever.
Okay. All right.
Whatever works.
Okay. So he's got a massive chain around his neck. He walks into an MRI facility.
So his wife was in there, and what she's saying was that she was the one who was having the MRI on her knee.
Yeah.
She called for the technician to let her husband in to help her get back up afterward.
He's got the chain around his neck.
The technician allowed dude inside the room, and in that instant, the machine switched him around and pulled him in, and it was a rappity rap.
That's some Final Destination stuff right there.
For sure. And this is sad. I don't know why this hits me a certain way. It's not funny, and if you start laughing, you're horrible. But the wife was saying, "Hey, can't you just turn the machine off?" And I feel like that's inside myself. That seems funny to me. Outwardly, it's not funny at all. It's
but that's either that or unplug it. That's a legitimate question.
That's what I'm thinking. But apparently, they couldn't do it.
This machine is eating my husband. It's like in war games, right? When the Whopper was going crazy and they were like, "Can you unplug it?" Like, nah, we can't unplug it. It's got a mind of its own. It's going to start, global thermonuclear war.
This was not the first time this dude was in there with the chain. He and the technician had actually been having discussions about the chain earlier.
Oh, well, okay. Well, he did that to himself. So we are victim blaming, I guess. Or I'm victim blaming. Well, they tell you, listen, the key word in MRI, magnetic resonance machine. I forget what it is, but magnetic. And they tell you all the time, hey, you got any metal on you? Because this bad boy does crazy stuff with metal.
It's one of those things that they tell you all the time, and people don't really treat it like it's serious.
You don't think about it.
Yeah, until it actually happens to you. It's like when
it gets serious. Yeah.
And you just do what they ask you to do sometimes. And if you don't, well, listen, let this be the Lord that leads people into taking off all. Because I'll tell you what, every man, I might have the blood sucked out of my body before I go in to get an MRI the next time I go in there. I want no metal around this thing.
Nah. I love MRIs though. I get some of the best naps in MRI machines.
You and me both, boy.
I get a good nap in an MRI machine, boy. It's like,
did you put the music on?
I don't even need music. Don't need music. Just put in the ear protection.
Yeah.
And I can zone out. But again, I'm a world-class sleeper. I can sleep anytime, anywhere. Okay. All I got to do is be in the prone position. All right. When I'm on my back, everybody relax. When I'm on my back and I got a couple of minutes of peace and quiet, hey man, your boy can shut it down.
Man, I wish I could be like you.
Oh, it's a gift. I thank God for it every day.
You have mastered the art.
Oh yeah. I can clear my mind easy and go to sleep because there's not a lot going up here to begin with. Right. It's not a very crowded nightclub that I have to get, a lot of thoughts out. Right. So it's fairly easy to do that. So the moral of the story is don't wear 20-pound chains anywhere near an MRI machine.
And that's probably good advice.
They are not to be trifled with. Matt Mayoko coming up in just a second, talking all things Niners, recent past, the right now, the present, and the not too distant future with Niners training camp opening tomorrow down in Santa Clara on the 22nd. On this day
Here we go.
And we will go way back, and we will go in order. We got to have the banner first. Bam, there we go. Now it's official. On this date, July 21st, 100 years ago,
Whoa.
the Scopes monkey trial ended. John Scopes was teaching the theory of evolution in his classroom in Tennessee. Charges were brought against him by the state of Tennessee that he was basically teaching something that was an affront to God. It went to trial. He was found guilty and fined, John Scopes, $100. It was a lot of money back then, but that conviction was eventually overturned, and they tried to retry him. Did not work, but eventually the ability to teach the theory of evolution was, in essence, decriminalized. And it all started with John T. Scopes' conviction today in what was commonly known as the Scopes monkey trial, which ended 100 years ago today. So there you go.
Absolutely insane.
There's your history lesson for today. Yeah. There you go. It was the most popular trial at the time. It was broadcast on radio, like it was an absolute spectacle. It was the equivalent of the OJ trial back then. That's the best way to put it. So
weird that that would even come up as something that would be unlawful.
I know, right? Well, it was 100 years ago in Tennessee. They were doing a lot of goofy shit back then.
We're a weird country, man.
On this date in 1972, George Carlin was arrested after doing his 7 words you can never say on television comedy routine.
Ridiculous, especially since by this time we were well into the Richard Pryor era. So this is so weird to me that this was a thing still.
Do you know what those 7 words were?
The 7 words you can't shit, fuck, bitch, bitch, pussy.
Now you can start making them up now.
Because I know them all. Frequently.
Let's see if I can look them up here. 7 words you can't say on TV. But you can say on YouTube, apparently. So I guess we're going to do it.
Free for all, baby.
Shit, piss, fuck, cunt, cocksucker, motherfucker, and tits. So there you go.
Oh yeah, there's way more than that. What are we talking about? Nice job, George.
Yeah, there you go. So that happened on this date in 1972. On this date in 1973, this happened.
Yeah.
There you go. Hank Aaron hit home run number 700 on this day in 1973. He would hit the home run number 715 that would pass Babe Ruth next season, April of 1974. So
yeah, that's wild, man. It's bittersweet when you hear Hank's stories about that moment. I mean, wow, you would think that would be such a great moment for him, but he was like, I'm just glad this shit over with.
Yeah, it's just
he was tired of all the hate mail and all that stuff. Just weird behavior.
Did you see the tribute they did during the All-Star game to Hank Aaron? It was really, really cool. I failed in mentioning that during the show we did last Wednesday after the All-Star game, but it was a really cool tribute, and his wife still alive. He got to see the tribute on this date in 1981. I mean, I think one of the greatest, if not the greatest, arcade game of all time, Miss Pac-Man, was introduced, and I cannot pass a Miss Pac-Man machine to this day without giving it a run.
Was it superior than Mr. Pac-Man?
Yes. Yeah. Miss Pac-Man is a Much better game than old school regular Pac-Man. No,
I think so too. Yeah, I
Yeah.
love. Oh my
no, Miss
God.
Pac-Man was great. Miss Pac-Man was great.
Boy,
Came out,
the video game arcade was such a thing. It was like our disco.
oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
Like, crazy.
Yeah, man. Miss Pac-Man came out on this date in 1981. On this date in 1987, we got a couple of more before we get to the best thing I saw today, and then Matt Mayoko talking Niners with me in just a little bit. On this day, one of the greatest debut albums of all time was released. Guns N' Roses hit us with Appetite
Oh,
for
there you go.
Destruction. I just, it's easily on that list of greatest debuts of all time.
I mean, that goes without saying. Like it was such a flashpoint for that year, for the next couple of years, actually.
Mhm. Yeah.
Guns N' Roses was wow.
That opening salvo with Welcome to the Jungle, like the first song you hit everybody with is that.
Yeah.
I don't know of a more powerful opening song on a debut than Welcome to the Jungle. This is where we lean on the quality hangers. We lean on the folks in the comments. I don't know. I mean, Welcome to the Jungle right out the box.
Yeah, that was not what people
Come
out.
on, dog. I mean,
They
yo,
put some
son.
wigs back with that one, boy. And now Axel, I think he's a woman now. Oh no, it's just
What? What? No.
My bad. My bad.
No. Oh my God.
He's an old white lady now.
Man, they're touring with Public Enemy over there in Europe now. Axel can't sing like he used to.
Axel's looking rough. Bro.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, you know.
I mean, but he's 65 now or something like that?
Yeah, he's up there. He is absolutely up there. But Guns N' Roses,
Wow.
to me, they were supposed to be our Rolling Stones.
Yeah, dude.
I thought that if they could have had that longevity, they could have been our Rolling Stones. I mean, there's no other way to put it. I mean, they had good songs. They were hooky.
Yeah.
They would talk about some dangerous stuff. The band themselves seemed dangerous. They should have been our Rolling Stones.
Axel was not a team player. I mean,
well, I mean, that's an understatement.
I mean, this guy. Wow.
Yeah. Escobar is a good point. Starting with Welcome to the Jungle is just as good as Van Halen starting another great debut, one of the greatest of all time. Van Halen starting with Eruption, going into You Really Got Me. But I don't, as much as I love Van Halen, and I'm a huge Van Halen fan, and as incredible as Eruption into You Really Got Me is, better than Welcome to the Jungle? I can't say it. I can't say it. I just cannot say it. So Welcome to the Jungle, I should say Appetite for Destruction, came out on this date in 1987. And to finish on this date,
it was like Teen Spirit.
Nah.
Okay.
Jungle's got it.
Okay.
I enjoy Smells Like Teen Spirit as a song. If I'm just talking about the two singles,
Yeah.
I enjoy, as a Nirvana fan, a huge Nirvana fan, I enjoy Smells Like Teen Spirit more than I enjoy Welcome to the Jungle. And they're both great songs. I just think just that to get that song from that band off of that album to start, I mean, because with Smells Like Teen Spirit, it was just pop music on steroids. You know what I mean? Welcome to the Jungle is not pop. It's full in your face rock and roll. You know what I mean? I just think in terms of what you're getting from a band that you'd never heard of before, and the first thing you hear from them is Welcome to the Jungle, I think that packs a little bit more of a punch. It's not a lot more of a punch than than Smells Like Teen Spirit.
I mean, the vamp at the beginning is what really gives it the launch. The vamp into the launch of the song is insane.
For which one?
For Guns N' Roses.
Yeah. That echo guitar.
Yeah, the vamp at the beginning, just that like 6 seconds, whatever. Man, that's.
I mean, it's it's really damn good. And like I said, for it to be the first thing you hear from Guns N' Roses and to see that album cover, and I remember a guy, oh God, I don't remember his name, brought it to school and it had, I'll move this banner here. It had the original cover of this artwork of I mean, it's kind of hard to describe, but you could see it there on the screen. He brought that to school before they eventually changed it because of the subject nature of the art on the left side of this graphic. And he brought that to school. We were all sitting in science, and we all sat at these big tables. And we all passed it around, and we were like, "What the fuck is this? We never seen anything like it." So you're looking at the cover back when the cover of the album or the CD or even the cassette, when that was important. The visual you get of that. Okay. Yeah. I mean, I'm talking of the original artwork. And then you hear the opening to Welcome to the Jungle. I rest my case in that regard. I just don't know if you're going to get a better opening salvo off of a debut.
I mean, it's pretty insane
what you got with it. And then the video, come on, dog. It's crazy. It's crazy. Last on this date, as we try to keep it moving here. On this date in 1989, another summer, in Lake Compounce Amusement Park in Bristol, Connecticut.
Oh boy.
During a tour stop for Club MTV. I'm giving you a lot of hints. This happened. Milli Vanilli busted on this date.
Karma.
In 1989. Boy, I don't know which one that was, if that was Milli or Vanilli in the white biker shorts, but when it went down, oh boy, exited stage left with the quickness.
Oh my God.
Oh boy, broke out wide.
It actually saved everybody some time. Let's expose these guys, get this out of the way. Because the fact they actually got up there and won that Grammy was blasphemy.
Yeah. I mean, this confirmed what everybody knew, is that those guys were faking and perpetrating. But to see it happen the way it happened and for it to go down as badly as it did is kind of one of the great stories in American pop culture over the past 40 years.
It really did shine the light on how, in that period of time, the MTV generation, how the spotlight went from how you sounded and your talent
to what you looked like.
How you looked.
Yeah.
And that dude who sang that song, it was some mealy looking brother. Looked like he was just got off the job at an accounting firm. And he got in there and sang that song. And they made all that money. He made them all that money with his vocals. And he ain't getting no money out of that, but the money. Money. And Naomi, of course, this is the great irony. Of course, now today everybody lip syncs, but somebody's got to take the bullet first. And Milli Vanilli took the bullet first. I will say this though, let's not front like a couple of those songs on that Milli Vanilli album didn't hit. What?
Okay? Let's not front.
Blame it on the rain,
baby. Talk about it. Okay.
Man, what are we talking about here?
Come on, baby. So good. Don't front.
All about it.
don't front. If anybody says that they didn't at least nod their head to Girl, you know it's true. They lying to you. Lying to you.
Playing.
Okay.
I listen to Blame It on the Rain so much, boy. Man, look at it.
So on this day, Milli Vanilli busted in 1989. My conversation with Matt Mayoko coming up. Christian wants you to let it out. He wants you singing. My conversation with Matt Mayoko coming up here in just a second. But as always, we end the show with the best thing I saw today, and I got to tell you, I really needed to see this because the Malcolm Jamal Warner news, hit me and had a brother down for a little bit. But when I saw this, I'm like, you know what? Everything's going to be okay, because as you know, I hate the Dallas Cowboys. All right,
This you do.
Here, see, I will always hate the Dallas Cowboys. It's something that I've done since I was a child. I don't do it like some people do in the media because you could get clicks or whatever. This is something that, for me, I hate them on a molecular level. I hate the idea of the Dallas Cowboys. Like I just, it's not enough for me to dislike the actual team. The idea of Dallas Cowboy football is something that angers me, and will continue until the day that I am no longer breathing on God's green earth. So when I saw these two videos today, it just made me smile, because the one thing we can count on is Jerry Jones continually sabotaging his team's chances for success.
Because we signed him doesn't mean we're going to have him. He was hurt 6 games last year. Seriously. We've signed, I remember signing a player for the highest paid at the position in the league, and he got knocked out 2/3 of the year, Dak Prescott. So there's a lot of things you can think about when you, just as the player does, when you're thinking about committing and guaranteeing money.
I hope that sentient bag of booze lives forever. And I'm sorry I didn't give context, but he's talking about, he's shitting on his 2 most important players. He's talking about Micah Parsons, who is not necessarily up for, but he should get a contract extension. Micah Parsons, again, I just like him because he plays for Dallas Cowboys. He's a good football player, okay?
Yes.
And with TJ Watt getting a whole bunch of money from the Pittsburgh Steelers, it's Micah Parsons' turn to cash in. But Jerry Jones, because he's Jerry Jones, doesn't want to pay him and decides to talk shit about him in public, saying that he was injured for 6 games last year, which isn't true. Micah Parsons was only injured for 4 games, but he plays football, for God's sakes. You're going to get injured. It's part of the sport. And then while he's shitting on Micah Parsons, he decides to shit on Dak Prescott in the process.
So dumb. So
there's one more. Oh, man. There we go.
His contracts are 4 or 5 years. Okay? There's a lot of water under the bridge if you step out there and do something in the first 2 or 3. You can get hit by a car. Seriously. And so there's a lot to look at over a lot of years that could make a big difference. Have you ever heard of any clubs committing to players and then they didn't pan out after they committed to them? We have.
I hope he runs that team forever, and he continues to run them to the core of the earth. Oh, so good.
And keep dropping those gems.
So good. So good. And he's so proud of himself and what he's saying, and none of it makes any goddamn sense. None of it.
Lord have mercy.
Just keep talking over there.
Really? Do players sometimes get hurt after you sign them? I would have never known.
I mean, you have to be you have to be a special kind of moron, yet have an inflated sense of self-worth that is just so out there for you to get on stage in front of everybody and publicly malign the 2 most important players on that football team.
Yes, sir.
He didn't have to say any of that stuff. He doesn't have to get up there in front of all those cameras. He wants to. His arrogance and his hubris is the reason that he ran Jimmy Johnson out of town, and they haven't won a Super Bowl since Bill Clinton was president. And he's still alive, and he's still doing it. And somebody asked Jerry Jones if he thought about not being the general manager, and he said, I'm paraphrasing here, but he said, I thought about it for about a millisecond, then I think about something else. I hope he lives forever. And those 2 videos, those are the best things I saw today.
Yeah, I mean, he is Al Davis 2.0 without the accolades, the accomplishments. Like, dude, you're not Al. You don't. I mean, you're making all the mistakes that Al made without anything to back it up.
Oh man.
Say, well, you did do X, Y, and Z. You did none of it.
Nothing.
Oh my
nothing but drive that team to consistent mediocrity. And I can't wait for them to flail around again this season.
Nor can I. I got a little thing.
Lay it on me, brother.
Best thing I heard today was Gen Z is going to save the film industry.
Oh, it is.
Right. Yes.
Okay.
The demographic that watches the least, that goes to the movies the least amount, it's not boomers, it's Gen X.
Yeah, because we're tired.
And yet, the boomers go. They head out to the movies
because they ain't got nothing else to do. They ain't got no job.
After years of hemorrhaging of film audiences, the film industry is on a crazy upswing because of Gen Z. More than 50% of audience goers 30 and under prefer to see films in the theater.
Yeah. And do you know why?
They say the primary reason is we want an experience that we can't get at home.
Okay, that's
number
true.
One reason.
That's true. Also, like the boomers, they ain't got no jobs either. So they hitting up the matinees, baby. Best believe it.
I went and saw a movie this weekend that I might have to get into when I got some time to talk about it. It's called Eddington, and it was just the craziest shit.
Okay, see, because you're the movie guy, so I'm waiting for Marcus's movie reviews. Like I'm waiting for that to be a constant staple.
We'll bring it up Friday. I have to. It's so insane. It's so insane.
We're going to go ahead and wrap this portion of the show up. But as I said before, I had a chance to talk to Matt Maiocco a few days ago about all things Niners. We're going to play that for you right now. But before we do that, once again, all you folks in the comments, our quality hangers, we love you so much. We're glad that you guys have crafted this community. That's exactly what we wanted. And you guys are a big, big part of the show. And we do appreciate you. And we all appreciate our presenting sponsor, that of course being Hop Monk Taverns. 3 locations to choose from: Sonoma, Sebastopol, and in Novato. Great diverse menu, great food off of that menu. Craft beer selection is out of this world. And the best thing about Hop Monk is that they specialize in live entertainment, live music, acts from across the country, and local acts all thrive at all 3 Hop Monk locations: Sonoma, Sebastopol, and in Novato. So to see what they have coming up entertainment-wise, live music-wise, maybe there's something there that tickles your fancy, check them out online at hopmonk.com, and definitely follow them on all of the socials. Marcus, my man, I will see you on Wednesday, my brother. How about it?
Woo! Let's do it, baby.
All right, everybody, and enjoy my conversation with Matt Maiocco, and we will see you on Wednesday right here on Quality Hang. And as always, remember, be good and be good at it. We'll see you. Enjoy Matt Maiocco. To minicamp, that one day of minicamp a few weeks ago, and went to Kyle Shanahan's press conference. The one thing that just popped out to me immediately is how Kyle looked refreshed. And it's like he looked good. And I know when you say that he looked good, it implies that he looked bad last year. But what the guy I saw a few weeks ago compared to the guy I saw last year, he just looks refreshed, is the word that I keep coming up with. And I know that even the most successful coaches, the ones that win Super Bowls, they age like presidents. But the guy I saw a few weeks ago in Kyle Shanahan, like I said, he looked refreshed. Do you see that? Do you sense a change in that regard?
It's the life cycle of a coach. It's the yearly grind. I mean, let's face it. At the end of the season, and as the season goes on, I mean, the word I would say would be haggard. I don't think we understand. Well, we probably understand to a degree the grind that these coaches go under, and especially if you're thinking about, let's just look at last year with Shanahan. Not only did the season last, or I should say the 2023 season, not only did that season last 5 weeks longer than normal, but then you pile on top of that, I would say the most disheartening loss that I've ever seen a team suffer.
Yeah.
Worse than the Super Bowl, the Ravens Super Bowl with Harbaugh, worse than the 2019 February 2020 Super Bowl with Shanahan. That loss took a huge toll on everybody in the organization, more so than any Super Bowl loss I've ever seen. And so you could feel it, throughout last offseason, where I think they were starting the season, usually those months of, February, March, April, May, June, heading into July. Usually that's kind of replug, get energized. Right. But it took a huge impact, so that I think even when they opened training camp, they were working at an emotional and physical deficit than what is ordinary. So I would agree with you in the sense that last year was noticeably different as far as just the amount of energy. Training camp was different. The season was different. Everything was different. Kyle Shanahan looked different. And so now there is this sense of kind of re-energized and getting ready for the season. And I would say without question, they're in a better frame of mind now than they were a year ago.
And so you have the devastating Super Bowl loss in overtime. You have the truncated offseason and the drama that goes along with that. Mm-hmm. And then you go right into the football season, and almost immediately it starts to go downhill. And because the past is prologue, we'll do last year and then go to the present and the not too distant future, because I had a lot of time on my hands with the Niners not going to the playoffs. I, wrote down some notes with the Niners season, and it was a lot more bad, unfortunately, than good.
It's tough to, oh geez, my dog just vomited, which I guess is on point with the 49ers season.
I'm sorry, puppy. I didn't mean to bring it up.
Oh my gosh. And it couldn't have done it on the hardwood floor. It had to do it on the carpet. Very much on point. You recite what happened last year, dog vomits, Tahoe trip delayed, all that stuff. It was
bad.
It was bad from day one.
Yeah.
With Brandon Ayuk, with Trent Williams, with Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah.
And then it got bizarre and darn near tragic.
Yeah.
With Ricky Pearsall.
Yep.
You talked about all the bad things that happened. It's really difficult to come up with anything really positive that happened last year. I think George Kittle had a good season.
Mm-hmm.
Can you think of anything else?
You could throw Mason Garrindo in there.
And what did Mason do? Mason outplayed his usefulness, I guess, or his being for the 49ers being able to reasonably keep him around. So he played so well that the 49ers basically had to trade him.
Yeah.
I think
Pooney was good. Pooney and Jennings
were good.
Yeah. Individuals you could point to and say, yeah, man, that's good. But when you looked at units, when you looked at offense, defense, particularly, and special teams, particularly, we'll get to that. There was a lot of not so good. And, the run defense, as far as EPA is concerned, the Niners were 10th and 9th in run defense. Defense allowed third down conversions at a ridiculous rate. They allowed points in the red zone. The defense was 31st. They allowed opponents TDs. The Niners defense did last year in the red zone at a 68%. It was so much with the turnovers. Special teams we'll get to, and you mentioned the injuries, that it was just so much. What I found to be amazing about this offseason is that the Niners were able to look at the problem areas, particularly special teams and defense, and we'll start with defense first, and say, hey, man, we got to change it. Because I think for a lot of teams, they would try to do it piecemeal. They would try to stay internal, but I think it was very smart and wise for the Niners to say, we have to take big swings at a couple of these serious problem areas, because we're not going to get back to anywhere where we need to be if we're continuing to flounder, particularly on defense.
Yeah, and I mean, everything they did, though, comes with risks, right? I mean, cutting Malik Collins, who's okay, he's an NFL starter. cutting Leonard Floyd, who gave the 49ers basically everything they signed him for a year ago, but he's not an every down player. He's he should probably be a pass rush specialist, not a 17-game starter who's playing, whatever, 60% of the snaps. So, I think the first thing Kyle Shanahan identified was that there had to be a change in defensive coordinator, the way the team finished the season. There was a point there where I thought, you know what, they're making some strides defensively. They can probably keep this thing together. But then what happened was just this, this deluge of defensive coordinator prospects or, guys who lost their jobs, who were out there, including first and foremost, from what, game 5 of the season, week 5, Robert Saleh.
Yeah.
And so, he quickly identified Saleh as the guy, I think, fully knowing that whoever they brought in was going to have a lot on his plate because there was going to be some major changes. And basically, when you looked at that team, the carryovers, the staples from 2024, Nick Bosa, Fred Warner, Diamador Lenore. That's really it.
That's it.
That is it. And we could throw in Malik Mustafa, but you know what? He's going to miss some time to open the season. And he was, he was a rookie last year. You never know how a rookie is going to perform, how, a rookie who plays well is going to perform next year. A lot of these guys, I've seen it so many times where a guy ends his rookie season on a high note and says like, oh, I got this. And then they fall off the face of the earth year 2. So basically, it's one guy at each level, a defensive lineman, a linebacker, a defensive back. And now it's filling in the pieces around, hoping that they can develop guys who can take on more significant roles. But, it wasn't necessarily by design that they went 5 defensive players with their first 5 picks. But probably if the 49ers could redraft it or, take the choice of, okay, do you want to, let's do this draft over, or do you want to stick with what you got? They'd probably stick with what they got because that's where they need the help. They needed the 2 defensive linemen. They needed the linebacker. They needed the nickel back. And they needed the, 3 different defensive linemen. 3 different defensive linemen, a linebacker, and a nickel back for their first 5 picks. And you know what? That makes total sense.
And you're alluding to it. I think what is very smart about what the Niners did with the Saleh move. You had to make a move, and getting a guy that is proven and makes a lot of sense. But with, as you mentioned, the turnover on defense and personnel and all of the young guys that they've drafted with Collins and Micah Williams and, Upton Stout and Nick Martin, to get these guys in on the ground floor and what Robert Saleh likes to do, who knows how long you're going to have him? Because if the Niners have a good season, he's going to be once again Saleh rumored for head coaching jobs. That's just the way it works. But to get Saleh in and to have him established with these young guys that are going to be with the Niners for the next few years, hopefully, that's smart. That makes sense to get them in to understand how Robert Saleh and the Niners want this thing to work and understand the standard that they have to play up to and in.
And also, I'd say this, as far as, if you lose Saleh after 1 year, I think they've done a pretty good job. You can't do it every year. It's a good problem to have in the sense that if people are picking off your coordinators to be head coaches, it means you're probably a really good team. And so, this year they kind of took a step back, and by getting Saleh, and they also got Gus Bradley. So at least they have a very obvious person who's been in that chair to take over, same defensive philosophy and everything else. They didn't have, they had that from Saleh to DeMeco Ryans. They didn't have it after DeMeco Ryans. So, they kind of spun their wheels for 2 years. So, hey, there's a reason, they paid Robert Saleh really good money, and they're going to rely on him. They have to rely on him. He's other than Kyle Shanahan, and you could make an argument that maybe he supersedes Kyle Shanahan as being the most important coach on this staff for this particular season.
Yeah. Easily the biggest offseason pickup for the Niners was Robert Saleh. Special teams, Brant Boyer, new coordinator. So you got a new coordinator, you got a new punter, you got a new long snapper. Will Jake Moody be the final change, or do you think that he will thrive in this new special team system? Because but there are problems in terms of coverage, punt coverage, kick coverage, and just at times looking unprepared, especially when it came to trick plays or fourth down plays by the opposing team. That is expected with the change in coordinator to be better. Yeah. But the one thing everybody's going to look at is Jake Moody, and he had an injury problem last year. Maybe that was a big thing. But is Moody going to thrive, or is there going to be some kicker intrigue here in training camp, preseason, and going into the season?
Well, I'm not going to tell you I think he's going to thrive. That would be sticking my neck out to a level that I'd prefer not to do. But here's what I would say, Rod, is that I would be surprised if he's not the kicker week one. And then we'll see from there. If he thrives, then he will remain the kicker. But I think they're going to give him that opportunity, again, unless he just completely, folds during training camp and during the preseason, and the 49ers have no other choice. Where his issue was last year after he came back was you could tell. I mean, you could just read his body language. He lost a lot of confidence. And, a kicker who doesn't have confidence, he has no chance whatsoever. What I would say is, in my belief, is that if the 49ers right now have Jake Moody and they have Greg Joseph. Greg Joseph has kind of bounced around. There's some talent there. He's kicked in the NFL. He's got some experience. But if the 49ers decide to go with Greg Joseph to open the season, Jake Moody is gone. He's not coming back. He's still a talented guy, right? So if they open the season with Jake Moody, my thought would be that Greg Joseph probably isn't going anywhere. So if Jake Moody misses a couple kicks that are pressure kicks early in the season, and it just gets to the point where they can't keep him around, I think Greg Joseph is still going to be there so they can bring him in and carry on. What's kind of interesting is if you look around the NFL, and when the 49ers have brought in guys for just like a week at a time, whether it was an injury to Robbie Gould or injury to Jake Moody or whatever the case may be, a lot of those guys that they've brought in off the street to fill in, they are now like solidly entrenched in the NFL as kickers. So, and that kind of goes with the argument of people saying, why did they draft a kicker in the, at the end of the third round? You can get these guys off the street. And a lot of times kickers who are drafted, they might end up being really good kickers down the line, but it's oftentimes on their second or third team when they find their confidence, kind of find their footing, for lack of a better term, and become players who get established and carve out really good careers. So I think they'll stick with Moody, at least for the time being. But then once the season starts, all bets are off.
The offensive line, no changes. Is that because they're happy with what they have? And I'm talking particularly left guard and center. Are they happy with what they have, or is it because there's only so many changes, so many moves you can make, with the attention understandably paid to defense and what we've talked about with special teams and a couple of other areas?
Yeah. So I'd say a couple of things on that. I'd say one is you almost got to draft offensive linemen or get them in, some undrafted guys that have made it. The 49ers plan was never to go out in free agency and sign a starter because, Aaron Banks, who wasn't exactly, gangbusters, look at what it took for the Packers to sign him. A huge contract that the 49ers would have never even considered giving Aaron Banks. Aaron Banks is a fine player, but he's not a top 10 guard in the NFL, but that's the price of doing business. So they weren't going to go out and sign any of those guys. I think they're happy with McKivitz. I think they're obviously Trent Williams is set. Pooney, they're set there. The spots you mentioned are left guard and center. I think that where they could have gotten guys in the draft, they just prioritized other positions and other players as being better players, quicker fixes, guys who can come in and start from day one. Ben Barch probably is the guy who's going to start at left guard from day one. He has some starting experience with Jacksonville. 49ers do like him. He played well in the limited time he got in last season before he got injured.
Yep.
And then Brendel is the guy that, playing center isn't real easy in the NFL, and especially in Shanahan's scheme and Chris Verster's system. So I think they just feel like that's, continuity kind of takes over.
Yeah.
Instead of bringing guys in and trying to get them up to speed and really not knowing what you have. So I also think that a big part of it is, the offensive line automatically improves when Trent Williams is out there. Honestly, the offensive line improves a lot when Christian McCaffrey is out.
I was going to mention that.
Yeah. I mean, there's no question.
Funny how that works, huh?
It is. Both in the running game and in the passing game.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Because think about last year, as good as Jordan Mason played, the 49ers throughout the entire season last year never really had check down as an option.
No.
And that is an offensive line's best friend. That first read, that intermediate read, or that deep read isn't there. Oh, here comes the pressure. Boom, get the ball out to McCaffrey. And it's not just get the ball out to McCaffrey and maybe complete a pass. It's get the ball out to McCaffrey and make a positive play out of it.
Right.
And so all that ties in together. And I think the 49ers felt like, they have some issues, throughout the roster that they tried to address, but based on what they did, actions speak louder than words.
Mm-hmm.
Their actions showed you that they felt defensive line, they felt linebacker, they felt nickelback. Heck, a wide receiver. They felt like a lot of those positions took priority over the offensive line.
And that goes back to the laundry list of vomit-inducing stuff I mentioned earlier, that when you look at where the Niners were really bad, it was defensively, the line in particular, and you mentioned wide receivers, and we'll get to that in a second. The Niners were down in yak yardage, obviously, and other situations that are wide receiver related.
Third down and red zone.
Yeah, exactly.
And so what does Christian McCaffrey do? What does he do? He immediately improves third down efficiency and red zone efficiency.
Absolutely.
It also helps the defense. Fewer 3 and outs, extended drives, field position, all that. Christian McCaffrey of 2023 helped out everybody on the team, including every player on defense. I mean, it's something that it's obvious, but it's not really thought about in those terms all that much.
Yeah.
When they're scoring, guess what? Well, the other team isn't, trying to pound the ball down the throats of the 49ers. The changes what they do offensively.
Yeah.
And again, is it a leap of faith to think that Christian McCaffrey at his age, with the wear and tear on the tires and the kind of season or lack thereof he had last year, can step back into that 2023 form? Maybe it is wishful thinking a little bit, or a leap of faith, but based on the offseason program and how he's feeling and how everybody around him believes he's feeling, they are expecting him to be a major contributor, major player in this upcoming season.
I think he's earned that leap of faith, if you will. We're not talking about just some rando. We're not just talking about somebody. We're talking about Christian McCaffrey. And yes, the how long he's played, the injuries, all of that stuff, that will make you think it's going to be tougher. And that's a reality. But I think also the reality is you're talking about someone who is absolutely special and has proven to take care of himself and be the type of player that one would assume, I think is the proper word to use, would be able to come back from the injuries that he's come back from.
Yeah. It's funny, back in, it was a long, long time ago, but toward the end of Jerry Rice's career, Bill Walsh told me, like, I'm going to have a talk with Jerry about his off seasons. Like he just works so hard that at some point your body just, by backing off a little bit, it helps your body. But Jerry's always go, 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 go. And that's kind of what came to mind last year when thinking about Christian McCaffrey, is that he works so hard that at some point, it becomes counterproductive. It even counterintuitive to think that the harder you work, maybe that's not the best thing for you. So I think he does have a really good sense of his body and what it can and can't do. And Father Time catches up to everybody. Not saying he's an old guy, but
football is football. We know how it works.
Football.
Yeah, man.
So it seems to me like maybe he's kind of dialed it in and kind of knows how to approach this offseason. So we'll see, beginning next week when the 49ers hit the practice field.
But work smarter, not harder. I'm sure that is running through Christian McCaffrey's head. Jauan Jennings and his situation. I'm not really worried about it, quite frankly, because to me it's fairly easy. He's either going to play, Jennings, for the $7 million and change that he's scheduled to get, because guys just don't sit out the season. Those are rare occasions and miss however much money they're supposed to make. He's either going to play for that, or the team is going to bump him up, and it's probably going to be more incentive based. Jauan Jennings, I know he has leverage, but there's not really a trade market, and guys just don't say, I'm going to sit out and not make the money I'm supposed to make. I think this is going to get taken care of sooner rather than later.
I think so too. And the thing is, like you mentioned, he does have leverage in the sense that he is clearly the 49ers' number one wide receiver.
Yes.
With Ayuk's situation kind of being up in the air, when's he going to be available? Deebo Samuel's not around. Demarcus Robinson, who isn't a prolific wide receiver, by the way, but a good veteran player, with his situation kind of being up in the air as far as potential for a 3-game suspension, with Ricky Pearsall, not knowing, exactly what you're going to get from him. And then the other young guys, even though Jauan Jennings has leverage from that standpoint, he is still a professional football player.
Yes.
Professional football players, they play football and they get paid. So if he doesn't play football, he doesn't get paid.
No paid.
I would say that I think the most likely scenario is that the 49ers and Jauan Jennings come up with a deal that works for both sides. Mm-hmm. It's not as much as Jauan Jennings could get on the open market if he were just an unrestricted free agent, but it's more than the 7.5 or whatever he's scheduled to make for this season. I think the most likely scenario is he's not playing anywhere else.
Right.
I just think about guys who have threatened or, guys who have requested trades. 49ers have always said, yeah, great. Request all you want. We still got you under contract. I'm thinking of Raheem Mostert, thinking of Robbie Gould, thinking of Deebo Samuel, thinking of Brandon Ayuk. Right. They're it's a business. They're going to want the best players on their team. They're not in the business of just giving away good players. And Jauan Jennings is a really good player. So, and he's really good. And for this team, he's even better than really good. They need him. They need him around. So I think they'll come together on something. It probably won't be, under the 49ers best case scenario, he plays for $7.5 million. Under Jauan Jennings' best case scenario, he signs a new contract that pays him $18 million a year. Yeah. I don't think either side is going to get what they want, but that's why they negotiate. And both sides are going to give up a little. And ultimately, I think both sides are going to be happy with what they come up with.
Not that I did this on purpose, but to me, there are many more things to talk about than what I'm about to mention. But when is the last time you've had a Niner-related conversation of length, more than a couple of questions at a liquor store, where Brock Purdy's name was not mentioned?
That's funny. I think I was on with Rich Eisen this week, and I don't think Brock Purdy's name came up.
Okay, he knows ball. He understands.
Yeah, and I almost think, well, no, I mean, there's a couple things. There's still the boy, was that a good contract? Should the 49ers have done that? But I kind of think that, the Brock Purdy conversation was so much about, February, March, April, May. Once he signed that new deal, he was still very much front and center, I think, for the next several weeks. But now I kind of see that not as much. And he's definitely a storyline for this season.
Sure.
But he signed the contract he signed. I think we can all, well, maybe we all can't agree. That was probably stupid of me to say, but it was a reasonable contract. I think it was going to be like $55 million a year. It ended up being $53 million. So I just think now Brock is kind of established.
Yeah.
And I think almost, we'll see how this season turns out, but almost kind of a given. Like you kind of know, there's some areas where he's still a young guy.
Yeah.
This is just his third full season as an NFL starter. In his first full season, he finished fourth in the MVP voting. And so, he's now seen as somebody who's, I think you can probably put his name up there with, when we talked about all the players, high-priced, veteran, established players at every position group. You can start off with Brock Purdy. It's Brock Purdy, it's McCaffrey, it's Kittle, it's Williams, it's Ayuk if he's healthy, it's Bosa, it's Warner, it's Lenore. Now he kind of fits in with that. So I'm always kind of curious to see how he performs and what his numbers look like and everything else. And this year will be just kind of fun to see where he takes his game from here.
Sure. Yeah. And when you go back and you look at the disaster that was last season, and I think that's a fair word to use, while Brock Purdy wasn't perfect by any stretch of the imagination, and he did have his hand in some of the issues, there were much more pressing issues and problems on other parts of that football team, whether we're talking personnel, whether we're talking coaches. There were bigger issues and bigger problems. And to me, Brock Purdy wasn't one of them.
Yeah, I mean, what's interesting, plug in, to go to profootballreference.com and plug in career passer rating. And I realize passer rating isn't, perfect tool, but it does kind of encapsulate everything that's important in quarterback play.
Yeah.
If you plug it in and he doesn't have enough passes or games or whatever to qualify, but, above everybody else in NFL history is Brock Purdy. So he's done a lot right,
right,
in his very short tenure as the 49ers quarterback.